Welcome to the MWA podcast. I'm Kyle, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Sean, Brian, and Jeff. Today, we're thrilled to welcome back Kate Swann and Meighan Hornady from the Florida School of Woodwork. Kate founded the school back in 2004 and has been its executive director ever since. Today, we'll discuss the next exciting chapter for the school with Kate and Meighan. So, welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Nice
Excellent.
Yes. And for those of y'all not familiar with Kate Swann, be sure to check out her previous appearance on episodes 432 and 433.
So I figured I couldn't disgrace myself, so you invited me back.
Exactly.
No, you are always welcome. You were
exactly. Actually, it's been too long. We've mentioned several times we need to get Kate back on. But
That's 250 episodes ago. That's a long time.
Yeah. Well, before we dig further into what's going on with the Florida School of Woodwork, let's hear a word from our sponsor.
Sutherland Wells knows that exceptional craftsmanship deserves an exceptional finish. That's why they handcraft their full line of low and VOC exempt finishes and stains using the highest quality, cold-pressed, sustainably grown tung oil. Their unique polymerization process delivers the deep penetrating, grain-enhancing, non-yellowing protection of tung oil, while reducing the drying time, allowing the finish to build a beautiful, durable film. Sutherland Wells, the timeless look of traditional oil made for the modern woodworker, and use code MWA25, that's the numbers 25, for 10% off your first order.
And we'd like to thank Sutherland Wells for their sponsorship of this episode. And with that, let's give a big shout out to our patrons. So who do we have to thank this week, Sean?
Yeah, so, big thanks as always to our Patreon supporters. Today we're giving that big shout out to Rich Harwood. Great name, Rich. Very apropos to the craft. And if you would like to join Rich in supporting our podcast, please do by going to patreon.com/MWA podcast.
Yes, thanks so much, Rich. Well, let's move on to what's in the shop. So, Sean, what have you been working on?
Yeah, it's been a minute. Got a lot of things going on. I did a whirlwind work trip to just outside Reno, Nevada. Which, as I described to a couple of people that asked me, "Oh, how was it?" I mean, I said, airport, hotel, work site, hotel, work site, hotel, work site, hotel, airport, home.
Yeah.
I saw the sun out of a building for about 45 minutes on Sunday in the over the weekend trip that I was there, but it was very nice. Saw the Truckee River. I don't know if anybody knows geography out there, but a really cool area. The high desert. It was similar weather to what I live in. It was like highs in the 60s, lows in the 40s, kind of like stuff in November. Very interesting. And actually that particular job site, I won't go into details of who I work for or what I do, but this is a wood product production plant. So literally their job is to take rough lumber on one end and cut out the defects, rip it to length, cross cut it to size, finger join it back together, and make interior door components, which leave the factory in sticks. So they legitimately take wood and make sticks. It's really kind of an interesting prospect to do like a full-on production. But they service a major door manufacturer, and it was really kind of cool to learn the process. They have a very old, and I don't remember the company, but there's a really old like Art Deco styled 35-inch planer way in the back.
Wow.
Oh, it was so cool.
I guess I don't understand I'm trying to envision an Art Deco planer, and I'm like, sign me up. But
yeah, so it had these big humpy sides where it curved and then curved again on the way down, and it had straight lines in the curves. Like it was just it's just like of that era back in the 40s, 50s, like way back. And it really
it's
was
probably before that. It's probably more like 30s.
Could be
20s, 30s, yeah.
20s, 30s. Yeah, I mean, it was old. But no, it's a super cool trip. I mean, it was just neat to kind of see what they do. And I'm on the IT side, so I'm doing technology stuff, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, the most important question I have for you, Sean, is I need some new exterior doors. Can you give me a discount?
I gotta see, because what I've heard from so technically I'm contracted with a company I work for, who does a lot of building products, and apparently I can't get product discount. So we'll see.
Okay.
Don't know, but I could point you in the right direction possibly.
Okay.
And I will be in a meeting in February in Jacksonville with about 700 sales employees. So I'm bound to find one that works in your area.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Distinctly possible.
If something falls off the truck, just let me know.
Yeah, exactly. So then in minor other news, when I got back over the last weekend, my neighbor, I was out, it must have been Saturday because Michigan was playing football and it was halftime and I was outside doing something, and he called me over and they're moving, but he said, hey, do you want these saws? And they're hand saws that his wife's father left at the house, and they built it in the 40s, and it's been hanging in the garage forever. So I now have possession of a couple rusty Diston saws that I need to like kind of work on. One's ripped, one's cross-cut. I don't know anything more about that. It's not like the 5-bolt, it's the 4-bolt.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's like aging too. You can tell how these things are. They're nothing probably worth much, but I just increased my handsaw arsenal, which I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah, nice.
They're rusty, but they're good.
Hey, that's easy enough to fix.
Yeah. I mean, I just took them through like a 2x6, and I was like, okay, that cuts well that way.
Mhm.
This one cuts well this way. Leaves a little oxide behind, but we'll work with it. So yeah,
Cool.
that's about it for me. Jeff, what's new with you, man?
Not much. Just today was a pretty good day. I got a couple chairs. I got the back legs bent for a 6-slat rocker. Got a couple slats, and then I picked up a Wixie digital gauge. I put it on my DeWalt planer. So years ago, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 years ago, I got put one of those bird Sheila heads on there.
Yeah.
And then, and I was like, and I've always been guessing because when you do your slats, I want to get them down to about 270,000, So I just kind of guessing with the hand wheel how much, I got to go the next. And I was like, there's got to be a better way. So I was like, looked around. So I got that Wixie. I put that on there, and that thing it's so easy to calibrate. I mean, It just like, I was just like, this is gold. I should have done this a long time ago. This is awesome.
In the shop, we call that the Wixie. We call it the gift from little baby Jesus.
Yeah.
Because it's awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I was like, I got it I went to like 265,000 on it, and and just a little bump with the hand wheel, and I was like, oh, this is so nice. It was a real nice cut on there. Everything was real nice, and then cut it out, and then bent some slats today. And then yesterday,
okay, Jeff, you might have inspired me. I've had one of those for 10 years, still in the box.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, get it out.
Really, the digital gauge?
Yeah.
You never put it on?
No.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's just like, it's one of those things. I'll get to this someday, and someday just never arrives. Because I got to drill and tap, and all that kind of stuff into the cast iron. It's just like, yeah, it's a little bit more involved to put it on my joiner planer than it is. Yeah. One of those. Yeah.
So, and then I asked a couple of my friends. I was been looking at for the one of those JDS multi routers. I just asked a couple of people if they were how do they like it, or some people I knew that did green and green furniture. And one of my friends had it for sale for ultra cheap, and so I picked it up, and I just did a mortise and tenon with it today. So that was kind of fun,
Very cool.
Nice.
Yep. That's about it.
Cool. Brian, what about you?
Been busy last couple of weeks. I was right before the show here. I was doing some cable management, but I made a new standing desk. I couldn't take sitting down anymore, even though the Windsor I sit in is very comfortable. It's just
okay. That your wife stole your other one, right?
My wife did steal the other one. Yeah. So yeah, long story.
This one was a nice walnut one. Yours is made out of laminated 2x4s.
Yeah. This. I don't know how to describe that. That's an old story in the house, but yeah. So I'm trying to use things I have on hand, not only for economical reasons, just to decrease the amount of crap that's in my house. So this is a commercial grade desk that I had from 2012. It's absolutely flawless. There's one small scratch in it, but for being used every day, every work day for 13 years, it's in fantastic shape. I'm like, I'm just gonna take this top off. I have a sit to stand electronic thing from Uplift, got it all together. Just getting the cable management now, and so now I've got it's maybe a little excessive, but I got two 34-inch curved screens now in front of me. So I have plenty of real estate to do what I got to do for work. And it's also very nice for editing, video editing, because you can see, a huge timeline. So that is can't quite see it's over to my right, but it's hopefully be done tomorrow. So that's and the only bad thing about this is right before at the show here, got a chunk of MDF in my eye because it was trying to drill up underneath the desk to, I didn't realize there's very special screws for MDF. There's Conformat, if I pronounce that correctly.
Oh,
so
yeah, they got extra wide threads on them. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to, I don't know why.
Deep, I should say. Yeah.
I think every woodworker is guilty of hoarding hardware at some point. But I had a dozen of these things at some point. I don't know where or why. I'm like, son of a gun. So I pulled them out, but you got to pre-drill them. So unfortunately, I got a little bit of MDF in my eye, so I just had to shoot that out right for the show here.
You know what the most important thing of all is to wear these safety glasses.
I was doing the safety squint.
Yep, safety squint. Yeah.
And as a physician, that's probably the last thing I should be doing. But
had to do the quote from Norm there. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. I missed that show. But other than that, we have a big field hockey tournament coming up Thanksgiving in Virginia. The regular high school season has concluded. Did pretty well, not as well as I think we were hoping for, but I think we finished 15-6 for the season. So we'll take it. Made it to the final four of the state playoffs, but
nice.
That's where it's done.
Congrats.
Thank you, Kyle. How about you?
Nothing much around here except for I put some new accessories out on my website. So since I came out with the 1-inch stretcher jig for straight cylindrical tenons, had a few people contact me about the what I call the H fixture to drill H stretchers to drill, from one side stretcher to another, little setup I made. So I had some people contact me about, hey, can I just buy that? And then some other people contacted me, hey, can I just buy your center finder? So I put both of those up on the website. And I did a little video about the H stretcher that's out on my YouTube page so that people can say, I can show, a little bit more detail about how to set it up and how to use it. And then at the end, I say, hey, you can buy it from me, or here's how you build one. And it's real simple. It'll probably take you a couple hours to do. So we'll see how many I actually sell. But it's one of those make versus buy things. If you're short on time and stuff and you don't want to make it, then I got them up on the website. And like I said, also the my center finder that works with my stretcher drilling guide. So check that out. With that, Kate,
yes,
what are you working on in your shop?
So it's this first thing is something that it's not very grand, but it's emotionally important. So my son recently got out of the military and has come back into civilian life, and he's gonna join the police force. But in the military, they give you all of these badges for things, like if you get your parachute wings, or if you jump with another, you get all these things. And so he has all of these emblems that mean a great deal to him. So I am building him a shadow box, and hopefully, he won't hear me say this, but so that's going to be something that I'll give him for Christmas, is this shadow box with all of his pieces in there. And because I can't stand not to do pyrography on anything, I'm going to engrave or pyrography some script on there. And I'm gonna butcher this, but what I think it's by Ernest Hemingway, the fighter in the ring, anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's not in the falling, it's in the rising, or something like that. Something like that. Yeah. So I'll probably put something like that on, and his service time on there.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, so it's just a simple shadow box, but filled with lots of stuff.
Yeah. I assume the back of it has to be like some sort of fabric so you can pin stuff to it or something like
Yeah,
that.
so it's a layer of plywood, a layer of foam, a layer of linen, and then that's recessed into the back, and then there's a gap so that these things can sit without touching the glass. So there's about a 3/4 inch gap between the surface of the emblems and the top of the
Yeah.
glass.
So that's
Well-
what you've been doing.
Well, if he's going into the police force, he's going to need another one for
Yeah, for all
badges
his
from the
police
police
accolades.
department.
Yeah.
I don't know about any of this, so I'm like,
Just go with the flow.
just go with the flow. I don't ask
Yep.
too many questions.
So, Megan, what about yourself? What are you working on?
So my brother and his fiance built a new house and moved into it almost a year ago, but it's a great big place, and they need furniture. And lucky for me, they gave me some real specific spaces. And so I've been working on a couple of console tables and things to fit into some of these spaces. And they're back in Nebraska, but I'm here in Florida, and I've got all kinds of cypress that we pulled out of rivers and has been around, and some of it's just so rotten I can barely deal with it, but some of it's not. So I've been working on making some special console tables for my brother out of wood that we recovered off of our own land up there. So
Oh, that's cool.
That's super cool.
yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and it's got a lot of meaning for him, a lot of meaning for me, and yeah.
So, are you designing these yourself, or are you going off?
I am.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a very creative designer at all. I'm really cool with straight lines and right angles and things like that. So it's hard for me to break out of that comfort zone. So my designs are not always very exciting, but it's my aesthetic. So I guess that's fine. And he doesn't complain. It's free furniture. So
Oh, I'm sure it'll be lovely.
he won't tell me if he doesn't like it. So.
They're smart man.
Yeah.
Yes. So Kate, tell us about the
Yes.
Florida School of Woodwork. You're now a
Yeah.
nonprofit 501c3 and all that good stuff.
Isn't that awesome? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's this opportunity with a 501c3 to really expand the resources coming into the school. And in lots of ways, right? From equipment, from donations, from people working with us, from outreach in other ways. So it's been something that Megan and I have talked about for a while, and Megan has been the president of the nonprofit that was sort of focused on the school, but we weren't the same thing. So now those two entities have melded, and so the school is a standalone not-for-profit, and I couldn't be more excited. I just think this is a wonderful thing, and for me, part of the wonderful thing personally is it means that there are more people coming into the organization. So Megan's involved in. We've got another lady, and Megan will tell you all about that. But it means that there's more hands at the pump, which I'm delighted to see.
Nice.
That's
So
fantastic.
what's your role going to be in this?
So I'm going to be, how do we call it, the wise advisor. What's the little guy on Star Wars?
Yeah.
R2D2?
No.
No.
Yoda.
Yoda.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be Yoda.
Yeah.
So the other part of this is I've sort of been really trying to find a little bit more space for me to get back to the bench, and to get back to my craft. I've had a ton of ideas swimming in my head for a while, and they're driving me crazy. Right? You gotta get them out in some way. So this does two things. It brings more resources. It gives me some space to get back to the bench, and explore some of these ideas.
Nice.
That's so cool.
So are you going to set up a shop there at your house, or are you going to work out of the school, or? Little of
So
both.
they will not kick me out of the, so as long as I behave myself,
Okay.
and don't make a big mess, I can still use the school, but I really want my own little space.
Mm-hmm.
And that's gonna take a little while to do. So I've had several lovely invitations from folks around the country to come spend time with them and leverage their workshop until I'm ready. So I'm not sure which ones of those I'll follow up on just yet. I think it's a little bit too early. I'm also still going to be teaching at the school, so
Okay.
it's not like I'm sort of stepping off the scene entirely from, I love teaching. I think it's sort of a responsibility that that we have to be good stewards of the knowledge in our head. And it's also going to be a way to stop me from becoming a hermit, like I don't think woodworkers really, like, you guys probably do the podcast because you get to talk to people, right?
Yep.
I mean,
Exactly.
if we're woodworkers, we're in our own little bubble all the time. And so I think teaching is really good ways to sort of keep that engagement with the community going and to be good stewards of the craft.
Yep. I envision there's a bench slightly off to the side that is reserved, like some Italian restaurant, for Kate to have full operation of. And it's like,
Right.
you just keep everyone else away from it. It might have ropes surrounding it. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
like
but
the velvet rope.
Yeah, exactly.
You haven't been there, have you? You don't know how much space we don't have.
No, I have not. So no, that may not be possible, but I think Kate might make it happen. Just saying.
We'll figure it out. It's I've got quite a bit of, with all these ideas that I've got quite a bit of research and design work that I have to do in some prototyping, before I start actually making some of these things that I've been thinking about. So there's going to be a series, a period of time where, I'll just do some prototype and I'll go like, oh, that's stupid, and regenerate and and rework, so that's all going to be little sticks of wood and bits of Play-Doh for a while until I can get it all nailed down. But my goal or my hope is that I'd like to develop a series of I don't know what they call them here. I might not have the right word. Homewares, like spatulas and plates and smaller items,
Yeah.
but they're super luxe, and that they are also very filled with drama. So somebody saw a piece of my work a while back and they were like, oh my God, this is a drama queen, because it's got, pyrography, it's got acrylic on it, it's got curves on it, it's got so I almost so I don't want to diminish this by saying it, but I want to make pieces that are coffee table book pieces, where they're just these beautiful objects. And
Right.
sure, they have a purpose, but in and of themselves, you can pick them up and handle them, and it just feels like something amazing to have in your hands. So, yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. I made some kitchen goods a long time ago. I did the old Mark Spagnola cutting boards. I gave them away to a bunch of people, a bunch of friends and stuff, and family, and I still have them, and they don't use them.
Great. Yeah, they don't, because you made them. They're precious.
My mother-in-law and my wife's grandmother have them leaning up on the back of their counter in their kitchen. Like it's just perfectly displayed, and I'm like, oh, well, it hasn't cracked, so that's good.
Yeah, exactly.
My stupid sister, I made her a cutting board. She's had it on the windowsill since I made it, so like 20 years now. And I'm like, Liz, and she's like, oh, well, you made that for me.
Yeah, it's so pretty. I can't.
Yeah. I'm like,
Well, good.
Chopped.
Well, I'm excited to see what you come up with. Now, I believe you have a, and we'll talk about this a little later, but you also have an Instagram for just yourself, right?
Yeah, so I'm starting to sort of develop sort of an entity for me on Instagram.
Yeah.
So right now it's Kate Design. It's not Kate Designs. The S
Kate
was
Swann.
taken. Kate
Yeah.
Swann Design.
Design.
Yeah. So I'm starting to load some old work out there, and then add sort of the new sort of inspirational things that I'm discovering along the way. And you can see I love texture and color and yeah. So
Nice.
it's early days on that. Yeah, there's not much there, but it'll. Part of the fun is building it, right? Is just
That's right.
that whole the new portfolio of work that you've poured your heart and soul into, and it's sort of very reflective of where you are now in your craft. I
Mhm.
think I can't wait to work on that.
Nice. Well, so Megan, so tell us about the nonprofit organization and what the direction of the school is going to be going forward and stuff like that.
Well, I'm going to tell you just for a second about me because I think that this is relevant here. So my background in woodworking from a younger person, I mean, it was 8th grade wood shop.
Mhm.
And then I embarked on a completely different career that had absolutely nothing to do with anything hands-on for many years. And it wasn't until I moved to Florida about 10 years ago that I kind of started getting back into woodworking, and I was hacking away in my garage with a circular saw and a hand drill. And I thought there's got to be a better way to do this. There just has to be. And I started, Googling, woodworking and schools and things. And I was so incredibly lucky that the Florida School of Woodworking was just across the bridge from me. I live in St. Pete.
Mhm.
So it was really easy for me to go over there. And so that was 6 or 7 years ago now. And so the very first day I walked into the school, and here's this British redhead who's greeting me. And the entire space, I absolutely fell in love with it. I looked at this and I was like, this is where I was supposed to be. And ever since then, I've watched the school grow. I've watched the school change. I've watched Kate do all of these different things. I was invited to join the board about 4 years ago. And at the time, really all we did is give away scholarships and bring in tools to sell to raise more money for scholarships. And it also helped the school out by, buying additional tools, dust collection, things like that. So when Kate approached me, gosh, I think it was back in March, and said, hey, I've got an idea. What do you think about maybe the friends and the school becoming one? My first thought was, no, I don't want anything to change. I really like what things are. Why would we change anything? But the more she was telling me, she says, look, I want to do some other things. I'm here so much. I'm working so many hours, and there's so many other opportunities. And I feel like, we can have a few more hands on the wheel here and just bring in, some more ideas. And the more she talked to me about like what she thought, I thought, all right, we can absolutely do this. And I wanted to do it. I mean, for me, it was like, all right, well, if I have a chance to take hold of Kate's legacy and what she's built, and not only perpetuate that, but honor her by growing it even more and continuing to bring in the great instructors that we've got, and even adding some more classes. I was on board, and Kate and I have both been working really hard, and we started in earnest, I think, really putting this all together. What do you think? Maybe like July, August?
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
getting into this. I mean, I've been retired for 10 years, and the last 4 months, I said that I've had I came out of retirement and I got a full-time job. So it's been worth it. And that's, so that's where we're going with this. And at the beginning of the year, we're planning to reinstitute our scholarship program. We have kind of set that aside for the end of this year, just because we've had so much to do.
Yeah.
And the dust has not settled. As Kate mentioned a little while ago, we brought in Lynn Gonzalez. She's going to be we're calling her managing director. So she's not a woodworker yet, but she's handling so much of our administrative work. And we're really grateful to have her on board, and that way Kate and I can focus a lot more on working more with students, working more with the instructors, looking for more instructors, looking for more exposure for the school, and trying to figure out opportunities that we can get the word out.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about the nonprofit organization itself? You said what's the name of that? Friends?
So we are, oh gosh, this is going to get really long and there's lots of F's.
In a good way.
Get ready. Friends of the Florida School of Woodwork, DBA, the Florida School of Woodwork. So effectively what has happened is we came in, and I won't go into the details, but I don't want to even call it a buyout because I don't think that that's quite right. But
It was more of a merger.
Yeah, it was definitely more of a merger. And in that way, we can continue to operate fairly seamlessly as the School of Woodwork, the Florida School of Woodwork. That way, no names changed. The website didn't change. We're still schoolofwoodwork.com. We didn't have to go through a huge, change or implement a new 501c3 or anything. It was already in place.
Okay, nice.
Kate and I have gotten a huge education in contract law and nonprofit accounting in the last couple of months. And not necessarily we want, but it's
just what woodworkers want to do.
Yeah. Well, I know here in Texas we had the Austin School, and they recently, I think a year or so ago, became a nonprofit, and they were telling me about all of that and how much quote unquote fun that was. Because they had to start everything from scratch, as far as implementing all that stuff and all that. But so I can only imagine. Well, so tell us, the general programs and all of that stuff at the school is going to be remaining the same, because I know y'all have like a certification program and stuff like that.
So all the classes for 2026 are already out there. So folks can go on to schoolofwoodwork.com and they can see that schedule. Megan and a team are already adding some new classes. So I think we just got lumberyard and milling.
Yeah, we're kind of looking at adding just some more one day, we're calling them clinics. So we're putting together some of these clinics, so one of them is lumberyard basics. So we can really sit down with people, because a lot of times our students, when they come in, they say, well, I've never been to a lumberyard. I don't know how to buy it. Whenever I come and take a class, everything's, it is intimidating. And all of the milling is already done for them. So many of them don't know what to go ask for. And sometimes you get in there and the guy at the lumberyard's like, what do you want? So we're trying to make it easier for people to know what they want going in there and be able to ask for it with confidence. And then we're also doing some milling clinics too, because again, in our beginning woodwork, we give everybody kind of half a day of milling, but then people go back to their own shop and they say, how did I do that? So that is including some of these clinic type classes, one day, and at some point we might look at doing them as a 5 day. So we do the lumberyard basics milling clinic. We could do a sharpening clinic. We could even do some milling 102, resawing. So those are the things that we're kind of looking at adding right now. And that's been classes and things that students have given us feedback and said, hey, I could really benefit from this. As Kate said, the 2026 schedule it's really full. So, some of it for us is trying to find places where we can slot those things in. But we'll get there. And, we say, 2026, we've got a year to figure this out. Well, by June, we'll be trying to figure out the 2027 schedule.
Sure.
So, we've got to know all of this stuff now.
Yeah.
To start figuring these things out and testing them to see if they actually work, to see if anybody likes them, see if we threw a party and anybody showed up.
Yeah. Well, I know here on the podcast, we've had a lot of instructors, people that teach at various schools across the country be on the podcast. And one of their favorite places to go teach is the Florida School of Woodwork. Yeah.
It's really a great cast of characters that you've got to come down there and
That's an
teach.
excellent way. We love our instructors because they are, as you say, a wonderful cast of characters. And it's always, they're our conduit to the woodworking world, and we don't know what's going on outside the school unless they come. So yes, we will take care of them.
But getting Megan Fitzpatrick to leave Northern Kentucky, to come down to you, fantastic. Anytime Frank Straza is anywhere, I think that is an awesome thing. I mean,
Yeah.
you have I wasn't joking, a great cast, of people that come through there. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I wish I was closer.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think so. Megan's hysterical, right? Because I go like, "Hey, well, we've got a spot in June or July," and she goes like, "Well, March in Covington is kind of like miserable. So can I come in March down to Florida?" I'm like, "Sure." It's always been a really good pull.
Yep.
But
when it's ugly up here, Florida's always nicer.
There's a couple of instructors coming in 26 that I'm really looking forward to. And one of them's new to the school, or two of them are new to the school, but one of them is Lara Kishimoto.
Yes, we've had her on the podcast.
Yeah, she's going to teach our bending class this year. So
she's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and so I'm really looking forward to that. And then Eric Canizario, he's been before, but we're going to do we're calling it a green week. So it's a little bit out of our lane, but we're going to do he's going to bring all the willow with him, and we're going to do a willow basket and carve a spoon and make a stool, and probably make a little shaker box if we've got time. So that's going to be a lovely little sort of crafty week, where we work in a different way with wood than we, we're pretty focused on furniture and its sort of modern concept, and so this is sort of a nice back to the roots of working with what's out in the field.
Oh, that's cool. That's the thing that your school has, since I was introduced to it, like, you guys do a really good job of introducing the unknowing, the unexperienced, but also allowing someone who wants to kind of extend their knowledge, their craft, all in the same. And so, and your schedule has always been very full, and that's so, from a distance, it's fantastic to see again. I'm jealous.
Yeah. So, can we sidebar on something real quick? I want to talk about a couple of other things that are coming along, and we've got a new instructor coming up this year. He's going to be teaching the router class, and his name's Garrett Pratt. He's an alum of the school, but Garrett's work, I think he's Megan, I think it's GR Pratt on Instagram. He is going to be, and I'm underselling him at this point. He's going to be one of the up and coming makers that we'll see over the next, whose work that we'll all look at and go, holy cow, that's awesome. His early pieces, he's got the design sensibility, the mechanical engineering sensibility, and he's got, his woodworking chops are already, so he's coming in as a new instructor, but I'm very excited just to know that, we've got the woodworking field and the furniture making field is seeing new generations of makers out there, and I'm excited that he's going to be teaching with us.
That is so cool. I'll look up his Instagram and put it in the show notes so people can go out there and check him out. So that sounds fantastic. So you said he's a graduate of the school there. Yeah,
he's a graduate of the school, but he's a million. He's. I told him to send his pieces into the Australian Wood Review, or is it Wood Dust? Anyway, they've got that world, and he's doing beautiful work. The other thing I want to mention,
natural. Yeah, he's truly natural.
He is Cass at Bad Axe. And have you guys had Cass on from Bad Axe?
No, she's on our list, but we've interviewed her at various shows and events and stuff like that. But yeah.
Again, I mean, she's in the tool category, but also a natural teacher, and she's going to be doing a weekend class where you make a saw. So, and bad axe saws are just exquisite. So
Oh,
that's,
for sure.
again,
No.
that's the sort of, it's really
Yeah.
lovely to see this process evolve with new makers, and they're exciting to work with and be around, and it's great to have all this sort of new energy buzzing.
Yeah. We need to get her on the show. Like I said, we've had some woodworking conference. Like she's been at the Texas Woodworking Festival
Yeah.
3 times. So we've interviewed her there and stuff like that, but we haven't, quote unquote, had her on the show. So yeah, we'll jot her down.
Mhm.
Talking about the three of them, maybe realize there's some others out there that maybe would be of interest to you guys, sort of as a collective next generation conversation. One of them is Thaddeus Bickford. It's Matt Bickford's son.
Oh, wow.
okay.
Yeah, he's making, and he's making. He'll probably be at Hamworks, so he's only
Okay.
doing the small, plain mallet line, but they're just really beautiful. And he's, I think he's 19, and he's
Yeah.
already making sort of these awesome things. And then there is Cameron Fulton, who is the son of Ronnie Fulton. So Cameron's IG is Cam's Corner Shop, and his dad is Fulton Fine Woodwork. But Cam is, again, I think he's like 19. You can tell he's dialing it in, and he's going to be a fabulous maker. So just talking about Gout got me to thinking about this. There's sort of like this bubble coming up of all of these new makers, whether they're tools or furniture or and I'm excited for them. To be 20 again. Actually, I wouldn't want to be 20 again, but
Yeah.
yeah.
The energy of a 20-year-old.
The energy of a 20, yeah.
That's right. Well, cool. So
Sorry,
cool.
I sidetracked us all just because I wanted to.
No.
Yeah.
Feel free. Yeah, it's a free form. We always love the tangent.
Yeah.
But so Meighan, you told us a little bit about yourself, where you discovered woodworking at an early age and went away from it. Now have rediscovered it. But what now are your favorite projects that you've made since you've, quote unquote, rediscovered the woodwork?
Oh gosh. Well, I'm not going to lie. A lot of my projects are things that I've done at the school. But in that time, I feel like I would learn from my class, and then I would go home and I can replicate it myself. And so if you're familiar with Michael Cullen's work, Michael Cullen he does a lot of bandsaw boxes,
right.
carving. And I've had the good fortune to take a couple of classes with him. And so I really enjoyed making my own bandsaw boxes, and it's like when I'm really struggling with another project, I will just make a bandsaw box for myself just to kind of get my head on right. It's sort of like how I hit my reset button. So that's something that is just an easy thing that I learned and that I really enjoy doing. In addition to doing some of the bigger things, I do enjoy making, tables. I've only made one chair so far, won't lie. I did Alex DeLessie's rocking chair earlier this year, which was absolutely amazing. Alex is coming back in March, I think. And boy, I really felt like I accomplished something with that. So that was a great thing for me. But I really enjoy making tables, and we've got our farm up in Dade City, and so you always need things for that. So I'm regularly making, benches, or my husband comes and says, "Hey, I need some of this. Can you make me a bench for this?" Or I need, so some of it's a little bit more, I would say, maybe rough carpentry than fine woodworking, but just being in the shop is a pleasure for me. And earlier this year, I even, again, some might it might sound silly to some, but Kate and I figured out a way that I could sort of outsource some of the milling. So I went down and I picked up all of the lumber for one of the classes that we were having, and I took it up and I did all of the milling for that class up in my own shop. I was so happy. I was in there for 3 days by myself. Nobody talked to me. I didn't talk to anybody else. It was heaven. I was absolutely so I a lot of times just being in my shop and trying to, problem solve. That's my favorite.
I'm with you. I like milling too. I don't know. I like going through the joiner and the planer, making everything 4 square. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really satisfying.
it's satisfying. Yeah. A lot of people think it's grunt work, but I kind of enjoy it.
There's a contemplative rhythm to it that I think is lovely.
Yeah, exactly. Well, cool. Well, so I think I have a question here for you, Kate, about what's the first project you're looking at making afterwards, as you go down your design area. But it sounds like you already got that project.
Well, I got the sort of this thing for my son. But all of these others, it's going to be a process, right, of trying all these things out and seeing what they evolve into. I kind of just want to steer away from massive pieces of furniture because they take so long to do. So I'm putting some boundaries on myself of sort of staying within a reachable size, as it were. So that's my goal. Don't go big.
No. We'll be keeping tabs on you through the Instagram. That's for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure. Well, so before we let you go, so Meighan, tell us about some of your other pursuits outside of woodworking. What else you like to do besides milling?
Contract law.
Oh man. I travel a lot.
Okay.
In fact, I'm leaving for Macedonia on Saturday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then heading to Sweden after that. But I've got family here in St. Pete, and my sister lives here. My mom lives here. I've got a pet pig at my farm, and so that always that keeps me busy. Yeah, I can send you pictures of them, and if you want to put them up on your website.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Please do.
Yeah, but I mean, even back to the travel thing, Kate and I have had the chance to travel together. We went to Iceland. Gosh, I guess it was about 6 weeks ago now. Yeah, so that was really epic. We went to Paris this summer. So I'm always going somewhere and doing things and so it was kind of funny that I've actually had these few months to really buckle down and be at the school with Kate and Lynn and Andrew and getting things done there.
Nice.
So it worked out. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Kate, what about yourself? Besides traveling with Meighan, what do you like to do?
I'm a great travel partner, by the way. So she says I'm not. She's lying.
Oh yeah. I've seen her on the road. She's delightful. Yes.
I don't know about any of that. So I've got some silly things I want to do. Like next summer, there's an architectural history of Paris course in Paris, and so I want to start learning more about architecture. I don't have a good reason why, other than I think Paris is really cool. I think what I really want to do is I want to learn, and I might want to learn about I want to learn how to gild. I want to do a better job with that. I want to set fire to some more things. I want to evolve it with lots of skill sets, and so learning is the thing I think that I love to do.
Right.
It's vulnerable and you feel like an idiot, but that process of learning, that once you've expanded your mind a little bit, it can't ever go back to what it was beforehand. And so learning is just a beautiful thing to do. And I guess that's what I'm doing next.
I like that. Well, with that, let's move on to our fortnightly beer choices. So I'll start us off. I'm just drinking the house beer Guinness, so nothing special there. Hopefully, Jeff, what are you drinking?
Yeah, so I just have some coffee I'm drinking tonight.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Any special coffee?
Death Wish.
Death.
That is not decaffeinated.
No, that is not.
That is great.
That's for the initiated. That is not for the weak.
Yes. So, Brian, what about yourself?
I'm drinking a far New England beer out of Vermont, Heady Topper.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
If you can find it, take it. It's very good.
Yep. If you find it, send it to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Sean, how about you?
Kind of like Kyle, house beer. Got the Miller Lite tonight. Nothing special. Kate, Megan, take your turns.
I'm
do you got?
feeling incredibly lame. I'm drinking orange flavored bubbly water. It's
There is
just,
nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
I didn't know the rules, so I was having a Fresca.
Yeah, it's like-
There are no
Floridians.
rules.
we need
I
to
think
step
this
it
is our
up.
first Fresca of the podcast in 12 some odd years. Yes.
Both
That's
refreshed.
fantastic. Well, hey, Swann, either one of y'all can take this. Where can folks find y'all on the interwebs?
Okay, so they can find Kate at Kate Swann Design on Instagram for right now.
Okay. And Megan, what about the school and all the good stuff you got working?
The school you can find at schoolofwoodwork.com. And then you can also find us on Instagram at, isn't it School of Woodwork?
School of Woodwork.
Yes.
I'm one of those people. I am really slow to the socials, so I don't have no social media.
That's
Oh,
okay.
well,
No.
we'll fix
Lame.
that.
Yes.
With that, Brian, what kind of feedback do we have?
All right. So this is regarding episode 580. God, we're getting close to 600.
Yes.
Silver River Chairs came back on the show. So we have a couple pieces here. First two are from Bill's Yard. Big fan of the show. It says, great to sit a while with you guys and the team from Silver River. Hopefully the book will be available here in the UK. The next comment says, thank you. I'll have to have it on pre-order. And then our friends from Heartwood Woodshop says, went and ordered the book while listening to the podcast.
Perfect. We are
Perfect.
getting sales during the episodes. That's excellent.
That's great.
Excellent. So if you, dear listener, would like to leave us some feedback, probably the best place to do that is on the MWA Instagram account. We will also take some feedback on either of our Instagrams, or if you're using a podcast service such as iTunes, leaving us a 5-star review will help get the show out in front of other people. We would very much appreciate it.
And that just about wraps it up for this show. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the show on the podcatcher of your choice. Just search for the Modern Woodworkers Association. And while you're there, please leave us a review. You can follow us on Instagram at MWA_podcast. And if you'd like to support the podcast, go over to patreon.com/MWA podcast. But the best thing you can do is tell a friend. Word of mouth goes a long way in sharing our discussion.